Let's get real for a moment. When a man hurts you, your first instinct might be to react, maybe to confront him, express your pain, or even try to make him feel the same sting he caused. But here's the twist, that's exactly what he expects. Instead, the secret is to flip the script and leave him guessing. When a man hurts you, he anticipates anger, tears, and a back and forth that reaffirms his control. What if you did the unexpected? What if, instead of reacting with drama, you embraced silence and focused on yourself? That shift in energy can be a game changer. Imagine this: instead of calling him out or drowning in sorrow, you take a deep breath and step away. You stop chasing his validation and start living your life on your own terms. This isn't about playing mind games or being passive-aggressive, it's about reclaiming your power and protecting your peace. Silence is your strength. Silence is more powerful than any angry shout. When you choose not to give him the reaction he's counting on, you force him to sit with his own thoughts. He can't brush off your silence as just another bout of emotion because it doesn't fit the usual script. This leaves him questioning his own actions and, most importantly, his sense of control. When you don't react, you show him that his actions don't break you, that you're much more than the pain he caused. Think back to a time when you felt hurt. Instead of immediately lashing out, imagine pausing, stepping back, and allowing the silence to speak for you. That space gives you a chance to reflect and, ultimately, to move forward without the weight of his negativity. Level up instead of breaking down. Another powerful move is to focus on yourself, invest in your growth, health, and happiness. Instead of wallowing in sorrow or obsessively checking his social media, channel your energy into things that lift you up. Hit the gym, refresh your style, set new goals, or explore new passions. When you start leveling up, you send a clear message: your life is so much richer without him. A man often values what he believes he might lose. If he thinks you're waiting around, he'll assume you're vulnerable and keep you in his control loop. But when he sees you thriving, smiling, strong, and moving on with your life, he begins to realize that you're irreplaceable. Your success and happiness become undeniable proof of your worth, and suddenly, he's left wondering what he lost. The impact of self-improvement. When you elevate yourself, you transform heartbreak into an opportunity for growth. Every step you take toward a better version of yourself forces him to reconsider his choices. He may even start to regret ever taking you for granted. It's not about making him jealous, it's about showing that your self-worth isn't dependent on his approval. Focus on building your confidence and nurturing your talents. Work on your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. The more you invest in yourself, the less space there is for his negative influence. Remember, the best kind of response is one that doesn't need to be said aloud. Your progress speaks for itself. Grace without giving him access. Now, let's talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about giving him another chance or letting him back into your life. It's about releasing the hold his actions once had over your happiness. When you forgive, you free yourself from the burden of anger and resentment. But forgiveness doesn't mean you have to open the door for him again. True forgiveness is an internal process. It's the moment you decide that his mistake will no longer define your future. And as you move on, you make it clear that while you have forgiven, you are not obligated to welcome him back. Let your actions show that your life now moves forward on your own terms, without his interference. Make him question his actions. When you choose not to play into the drama, you force him into a corner of his own making. Men, by nature, are not wired to process deep emotions as openly as women do. They often distract themselves from feelings rather than confronting them. By not providing him the expected emotional response, you remove his ability to quickly move past his actions. This forces him to reckon with the real consequences of his behavior. When you remove yourself from a situation where his actions have hurt you, you create a gap, one that he will soon notice. And in that gap, he might begin to experience regret. His usual shortcuts for processing emotions no longer work because you're not there to give him the validation he assumed he'd receive. Instead, he's left to face his mistakes head-on. The ultimate power move: choose yourself. At the heart of this transformation is the choice to prioritize yourself. When you decide that your well-being is more important than any man's temporary presence in your life, you shift the entire dynamic. You show that you are not defined by his actions or his ability to cause you pain. Instead, your self-respect and confidence become the cornerstone of your identity. It might hurt at first. You might feel a pang of loneliness when you decide to let go. But in that moment of solitude, you'll also find the strength to rebuild and redefine who you are. You'll learn that your happiness is self-generated and that no one else holds the key to it. Practical steps to reclaim your power. So, what can you do today to confuse him, and more importantly, to uplift yourself? Start by establishing clear boundaries. Decide that you will no longer engage in conversations or behaviors that leave you feeling diminished. Next, invest in your personal growth, update your look, set new goals, and dive into activities that make you feel alive. Surround yourself with people who celebrate you and support your journey. Take time for yourself. Whether that means exploring a new hobby, taking a solo trip, or simply enjoying quiet moments of reflection, every bit of self-care adds up. These actions aren't about proving anything to him, they're about proving to yourself that you are enough, just as you are. Embrace the power of moving on. When you choose to move on with dignity, you send a message that is louder than any confrontation could ever be. A man who once thought he had control over your emotions will be forced to see that you are no longer available for his whims. And that realization is often what triggers the shift, a moment when he finally understands the value of what he let go. The journey from heartbreak to empowerment is not always linear, but each step you take builds the foundation for a more confident and fulfilled life. Your transformation becomes the ultimate statement: you are not defined by his actions, but by your resilience, your strength, and your commitment to living your truth. Final thoughts. In the end, it's all about reclaiming your power. When a man hurts you, the smartest response is not to mirror his behavior but to rise above it. Let your silence, your growth, and your self-improvement be the answer to his actions. You are far more than a reaction to his mistakes, you are a force of nature, capable of turning pain into a platform for personal victory. If you found this message empowering, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on how to live life on your own terms. Your journey to self-improvement is the best response you can give to anyone who has ever doubted your worth. Choose yourself, invest in your happiness, and watch as the world begins to reflect the strength that comes from within.